The world of Arc Raiders was surrendered long ago and reclaimed by both nature and machine. It is a capsule, trapped in time, condemned to rest on the hands of a frozen clock, and look back on a world whose people had reached the stars. Civilization is bound to the earth, to boots on the ground. Among the broken, the abandoned, the forgotten, the left behind and cast aside. They are raiders, survivors, opportunists, but the world above is not theirs to call their own. In the bowels of Speranza, the raiders take their refuge, a place protected from the dangers on the surface, from the occupying mechanical seekers and their metal nobles, whose reign presents the greatest danger to any raider. They are Arc. How's it going, everybody? It's me, Kev, and today we're talking about Arc Raiders. I've been following this game for a long time, all the way back when it was a PvE looter shooter. 4 whole years I've waited for this game. I still remember when Embark announced they were delaying it to make it an extraction shooter, and people were pissed. And I wasn't sure why they made that decision, but still, I couldn't wait to get my hands on the game. And it all had to do with its aesthetic. And I looked it up. I don't think I used that word right. Something like style or look might do a better job, but I don't know. I feel like aesthetic captures the idea of a complete experiential vibe way better. And for me, it all starts with visual presentation. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't like this game's visuals. It's dripping in style. Everything is designed, modeled, and textured in a way that makes it feel like it could all exist in the real world, albeit many decades ago. There's a real retro twist to things, a sort of cassette futurism mentality to stuff. Practical, tangible elements like exposed wiring, physical input knobs, light diodes, they ground the weapons and items in the game, makes them feel like you could pick them up and fiddle around with them. And the design language is a lot like what you see in the original Star Wars trilogy from the late 70s and early 80s. I look at something like the X-Wing pilot's outfit with its unicolor orange jumpsuit, its harness, and that signature off-white helmet with colorful pattern decals and think, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Arc Raiders here. It's this look that is grounded in practicality. The greebling on Star Wars ships gives us this idea that everything you see has some kind of purpose, whether it's an exhaust valve, a service panel, or internal mechanics that used to be behind a protective covering. That type of detail is all over Arc Raiders, and the game gets it right in a way that I haven't felt many mainstream games achieve in a long time. Off-white plastic materials, once considered to be the future, are all over Arc Raiders. So are visible screws binding together weapon bodies, vent grates, and seam lines that join together that injection molded plastic housing. It's reminiscent of an era where stuff was built to last, not just built to sell. It tells us that the raiders, who need to scavenge to survive, don't gravitate towards flashy, boisterous weapons and tools, but rather those that are sturdy and reliable. It really seems like the designers of the game weren't just interested in making cool-looking props, but also making sure that they are believable. Because when things look and feel real, we can lose ourselves more easily in the artistic medium and the game world. But hey, that's just the raiders and their tools, right? What about the robots? The titular Arc that swarm the planet's surface? Well, they aren't exactly scrappy. They look like they're built heavy, tough, agile, and most of the time, they're covered in shiny, clean metal. It's a pretty remarkable juxtaposition, actually. Raiders with their scrappy retro materials aesthetic, and the Arc, which seem to leap out of the screen as though they're from a future where the wear and tear of the natural environment has no effect on their clean, chrome bodies. Not all of them are made out of the toughest materials though. Ark, like the Wasp or the Tick, do seem to use plastic materials to make up their bodies, and as you might expect, they're among the least fortuitous of all the Ark and can be disposed of with lower tier weapons. It's the bigger bots, the ones that have metal on their frames that look more powerful and actually are more powerful. It's a brilliant execution of design that suggests characteristics that actually reflect the way something is. They look strong and scary, and so they are strong and scary. There's no deception here. And the fact that the Ark stand out so prominently from the environment, almost to suggest that they don't belong there, is such a thematic win for the design team. The Raiders in their dirty, tattered, and upcycled fatigues blend in with the brush and cityscapes that tell a tale of a civilization left to decay. The Ark, in their chromed out majesty, look way too pristine and high-tech to really belong in that environment. It's almost visually dissonant in the best way possible. Oh, and hey, if you've made it this far in the video, consider dropping a like, hyping if you're on mobile, and leave a comment letting me know why you're excited for Ark Raiders, and I'll know you actually watched the video. Thanks. But let's stay on those environments a little bit longer, because there's a lot of cool story here. Humanity was driven underground in the year 2180. Why? Well, apparently it was a novel combination of Ark, environmental destruction, and climate change. We don't know how or if those factors are necessarily dependent on each other though. Is the climate change in Ark Raiders like the kind we experience today? Is Ark exacerbating the issue, or are Ark actually there to remedy climate change somehow? Was it Ark, humanity, or a war between the two that destroyed the environment? There's a lot of open-ended questions right now, and very few answers when it comes to the story of Ark Raiders' environment, but what I can tell you is that the setting lays some solid groundwork for discovering the truth behind the world that we get to explore. What we do know is that Ark Raiders will take place largely in what was formerly Italy. From the dam to the mountains and everything in between, the Italian landscape is varied both visually and in theory in terms of gameplay. So much so that we're getting both snow and desert in the same boot-shaped peninsula. Of course, the snow-capped Alps and the Icona Desert provide real-world counterparts and inspirations to the game's fictionalized locations, but the game takes stuff like the desert dunes a step further, sinking a city into the sands to demonstrate the extent to which the climate has overturned life on the surface. There's a lot to love about Ark Raiders' aesthetic, but I think my favorite thing about it is how intentional it all seems. Everything about the way the game looks, its design language, hell, even the way that the developers have gone under the hood in Unreal Engine 5 to make the game run like a dream. It all points towards Embark Studios having a vision. And in my eyes, it's perfect. And this is where I realized the video was missing something critical: the sound. I was going to talk about the incredible sound in the game. It really is a world-class implementation of intentional sound design, but I think you should go check out fellow essayist Rylo's video on sound design in games instead. He talks plenty about Ark Raiders and its soundscapes and did a way better job than I could at approaching the topic. Go send some love. If this video was up your alley, let me know down in the comments. I'm trying to get into this whole video game video essay thing, and I'd love to hear what you think about this first go around down below. And feel free to subscribe if you want to stick around. Anyway, I gotta go get ready for the server slam, so I'm gonna go load up on snacks and water, and I'll see you topside.